So at this point, our body has needed energy. And so in order to get that energy, we've been able to breathe, our heart has been able to pump, and we've been able to digest our food to get our energy. We've used our energy by moving, and now we have to eliminate the waste that was created by making that energy. All of these different tasks really involve every system. But this is the first time we're going to look at how every system is involved. You could actually do this with each of the previous slides as well. But this is the first time we are going to do this together. So once our body has made the waste, there's every system involved in getting rid of waste because there's multiple different types of waste your body creates. We'll start with the gaseous waste because we're familiar with that from cellular respiration. So when we breathe in, we're making carbon dioxide. So we breathe in the oxygen, we release carbon dioxide. So that main system involved with that is our respiratory system. So our respiratory system removes carbon dioxide. That's the waste. So that's with the gaseous waste. In order for that to happen, the carbon dioxide has to come from our cells of our body. And they can't just leap from, say, our toes up to our lungs and leave. They have to be carried using our circulatory system. So blood carries that carbon dioxide back to our lungs. In order for that to happen safely, we need to have our lungs be protected. And our ribs are a set of bones that protects our lungs. It also protects our heart to allow that blood to be pumped. In addition, we need our muscular system. Our muscular system is what our diaphragm is made out of, and that diaphragm was the thing that contracts and relaxes to control the space that's available for our lungs. When there's a lot of space, our lungs expand and allow air in. When that muscle contracts, it squeezes the space for our lung cavity to be smaller and forces the air out, forcing out carbon dioxide. So the diaphragm is a muscle that contracts and relaxes to control that breathing or to control the rate of the lungs. Gas is not the only type of waste that's created in the whole process of cellular respiration, however. We also create a liquid. So we bring in sugar and oxygen, we remove carbon dioxide and water. So liquid waste is removed in a couple of different ways. One way that we remove liquid waste is the way we are most familiar with removing liquid waste on a fairly regular basis, and that's through our urinary system. And so our bladder, which controls the release of urine, contracts and relaxes because it is a smooth muscle. So in this space here, we're going to put bladder. So the bladder is that organ that is made of muscle and contracts and relaxes to release that urine. And so the urinary system is in charge of removing urine, which is one type of liquid waste in our body. But another way that our body removes liquid waste is actually through our integumentary system. And we most often do this when our body is really warm. And so our nervous system has to become involved in that. When our body gets really warm, say we're just in a hot room, but more often if we're being very active, then our brain sends a message to our body, sends a message that the body's too warm. And when that happens, our body sweats. And so we remove sweat. And when we remove sweat, our body actually, that sweat carries other waste products that our cells have created out of the body in that way as well. So liquid waste leaves our body in two ways. It leaves our body through our urinary system. It also leaves our body through sweat with our integumentary system. But there is one more type of waste that our body releases. this is the one that we all kind of giggle about and maybe don't like to talk to so much about, but we have to remove feces, poop. In order for us to not poison ourselves with the other materials that are taken in when we consume food, our body has to remove the leftovers. So the last piece of cellular respiration was we took in oxygen and we removed carbon dioxide and water, but we also had to take in sugar. In order for our body to extract that sugar, we had to take in food that had other substances that our body is unable to digest. So the parts of this food that are not needed, that our body is not able to digest, has to be removed. And when the way that works is, again, our brain, it starts with our brain, sends a message to contract and relax the muscles of the bladder and diaphragm based on the amount of liquid in the body. But it also sends messages to our rectum, which is a muscle. And so it sends a message to our rectum to contract and hold in the waste until it is time to be removed. And then it sends the message to relax when it's time to remove the waste. And so this is how our body removes solid waste. So overall, we are taking in sugar and oxygen, creating gaseous waste, carbon dioxide, water, a liquid waste, and the leftover solid waste that we no longer need when we've consumed that food. And every single system is involved in that happening. Really, you guys, every single system is involved in every process that we do.